everyone, and welcome back to The Right Stuff here on Amazon Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. The Right Stuff is where we're able to bring you authors' stories, talk to them about their writing journey, and also what it's been like for them to share that with the rest of the world. I'm excited for you guys to be with us today. If you guys are new to us here on the Amazon platform, make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You'll see it either here in this corner or down below. You will also see the book by our next guest. We're excited to welcome to our broadcast today for the very first time someone I've had a chance to be able to have different conversations with online, but now we are able to have him here on Amazon Live, and that is author William G. Harper Jr. We're going to talk to him not only about the writing of this book you guys see here, Standing Still, but also what it's been like for him to share these great messages, as well as to inspire people along the way. We also are simulcasting our broadcast today, so we do welcome our audience tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. If you guys have any questions or comments for William, the chat is open, so we'd love to be able to have you guys chime in with us. But William, welcome to The Right Stuff.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, William, you had a very busy start to 2024 already. You and I were messaging back and forth before we came on live today, and you were telling me about some activities you've already been involved in. I want to talk about the book Standing Still. What has it been like for you, out of all the other things you've done, to add published author to your name?
Well, I had an experience in 2017. I had a health scare. My mom almost died in 2017. I had a massive stroke. And in that time of my period of recovering, that word kept coming up: stand still, stand still. Even when I was going through therapy, even though when I was going through my ins and outs back and forth with the doctor, all I kept hearing is stand still and know that God's going to take care of me. And in this book, I wanted to share with the people to understand that through the journey and through everything, I took you through my journey, through everything I was going through, that I still stood still and let the healing proceed that way.
Yeah. And it is sometimes a process, right, William? Because
Yes, sir.
things do not happen at the speed that we want them to. But it's so interesting because one thing that you kind of talk about in the book is that our timing is not God's timing. Now, as people of faith, we know that up here. But what was it like for you to live that in your circumstances, to realize that all things happen in God's timing, not in your timing?
Well, it really made me really dive deeper into the word. Also, it's not our time, it's God's time. It helped me out a lot because now I really had to live it and know that God will take care of me. Because when I was in the wheelchair, I couldn't walk. And then going to therapy, to hear a therapist say, I'm going to get you to walk from one end to the next end by the next like 4 weeks or 5 weeks. I didn't believe that. But then I had to put it in. It's God's timing. I'm going to make sure I'm going to get there because I'm using it on God's timing. Everything have a timing. And I thank God for that timing, that now that I'm in 2024, I'm able to move a little bit. I'm able to drive and talk. And you're looking at me. You're looking at a miracle.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're writing the book. I mean, you're going through the experience is one thing, William. What made you decide to write it down?
Because I wanted somebody, whoever was going through something. I was in the hospital talking to different patients, and I seen a lot of people want to give up. I see a lot of people wanted to throw in the towel. I met a lot of people that had strokes, was throwing in the towel, like, I'm not doing this. I tell them, you got to keep training. You got to keep going. It's all a process. To lead up to where you want to go, you got to go through the process. And I didn't want nobody to give up, so I said, why not put it in a book? So when somebody going around every day, even everyday life, even at work, when they want to give up, want to throw in the towel, even when they want to just say, I'm done with everything in life, they can grab this book and understand that standing still and let God handle the situation. Go through the process because you never know what's on the other end.
Yeah, a friend of mine on social media, William, he writes all the time. His name is Darius Ewing. He also has had some challenges in his life, and he says all the time, trust the process. Do you found that through all of this, not only did your trust in God grow, but your trust in the process also grew?
Yes, my trust in the process also grew. It taught me also patience.
Hmm.
It taught me a lot of patience because sometimes I want to get up and move real quick. I have to think and move. So now I have put that trust in God, and then I also put the process in motion by everything I do in life. Just like with the book, everything took a process.
Yeah. I want to share something from the book for our audience. And I love the fact that one of the things that you do is that You try to stay positive even when challenging situations, and you use sometimes biblical examples to be able to do that. You say this in chapter 3 of the book, William. I want to read this and we talk about it. But for a moment, every glorious destiny encounters one challenge or the other. In most cases, the forces of darkness launch attacks on such destinies to see them wasted. And then you ask this question: are you under constant attacks? Is life so tough on you that you wonder if you're the only one alive? Do you experience heavy jabs from all angles? How badly can a day go, right? How would you explain how diligently prudent man could be sacked and given an eviction notice the same day while his wife is heavily pregnant? All these only point to one thing: a glorious destiny. Now, that takes not only a lot of patience, it also takes a lot of faith. So I want to talk about the growth of your faith in this process, William, because people will look at situations and say, why am I going through this? I'm a good person. I've tried to do what's right. Why am I going through this? What was it like for you to have those conversations with yourself?
Man, I'm not going to tell you no lie. I'll be honest. It was tough. Even with me as a faith and knowing God who He is, sometimes I question God, why me? Why did I go through this? Why do I have to go with this ailment? Why I have to go through this? But through it all, He still showed me at the end of when it came to 2024, that I'm still here. I'm still able to do the things that need to be done, and my faith's been challenged. And then not only that, last year, 2022, it was challenged even more because my dad died in October. So now the book, Standing Still, and I have a family, and my dad died. I just seen them in September, and then I just was the last person to talk to him that he died by the time I came back from Vegas. So it's like now I got to put it in motion. Now I got to put faith in motion. Now I got to learn what Standing Still is all about. Doing it all over again, but doing it in a way so my family can understand that what I preach and what I talk about is right here, standing still and
Right.
knowing.
Love that. J-Lo, hello to you over on the Amazon side. We appreciate you being with us. Ricardo says this, William, he's joining us on Facebook. God's timing and being patient, going through the process, great testimony. Has that been one of the great things that's come from this, William, that you've been able to inspire other people and encourage them to keep going?
Yes. Matter of fact, I teach at a school out here in Arizona. My students have my book. And they really, and I teach special ed, and they really enjoy it, and they really like to hear a little bit section of it each morning before we start our day. And I've seen a lot of people with the challenge, young boys, young girls, they going through every day. I tell them every time. Now they walk up to me, and when I get upset about something, like, Mr. Harper, you got to stand still. It's gonna work out. So I understand that this book helps not just our generation, but it helps our kids. And I love that you get this book to make sure your kids and your loved ones happy.
Right. And it's available now here on Amazon. I have it highlighted for you guys on the Amazon side. If you guys are joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, we do have a link to bring you over to Amazon to be able to get the book for yourself. Lawanda Harper is joining us on YouTube. Lawanda says, love you, big brother. So you've been able to get this support, as you mentioned, William, in different ways. Do you still have a wow moment when you look at this book and say, wow, I did that?
Yes. Matter of fact, when I first got it out and published everything, I called my mother. And that was my wow moment. I just wish my dad was here. But I thank God because, excuse me.
It's okay.
This helped me because the faith and the belief that we was in and how God brought us through everything through life. It all can stem down to this. I wish he was here to celebrate, but I know he in my heart. But yeah, it was still a wow moment for him. Like, I really did this. Because, man, I wasn't a kid in school on the honor roll. So, yeah, this is a wild moment. So it shows you that anybody can do it if they put their mind to it and trust the process and just stand still. So if you're an author out there, got something to write it.
Yeah. Love that. Lawanda says, so proud of you. Keep up the good work. And I think, there are so many people that are proud of you. I've given you a hard time, William, when it comes to the promoting the the book in the past, but it's all in love. That is it's all in love. But you also talk about a big thing, and this is important, I think, for people out there. Melissa says, she's joining us on Facebook. She says, wow, I love your passion, for sure. It's a really a testament to not only going through something, William, I think, but also learning and being able to share on the other side of it. And I think all of us do have that testimony, right? It's just all about sharing it. You talk about faith in chapter 5 of the book. And I want to talk about that because again, you talk about looking at you as a miracle, right? I think for a lot of people, part of that is, that being able to grow in their faith. Did you find that too, that you grew in your faith along the way?
Yes, I did. I don't take a lot of stuff for granted. I used to hear the old folks say, I thank God for the activities of my limbs. Now I really understand. I do thank God for the activities of my limb. I understand that. Now it's into practice.
Mhm. Love that. I have another comment here from YouTube. Darlene Harper says, very proud of you, nephew. Keep up the good work. A lot of family support over there on YouTube. Appreciate you guys over on the YouTube side. I appreciate you all being with us. I see you guys over there also on Twitter. Appreciate you all being with us. So again, we are simulcasting this. I want to say, for those who are joining us on Amazon, we do welcome you guys. Make sure you guys do hit that follow button. Also, you will see William's book there, again, Standing Still. You also will find my review there of the book here on Amazon as well. If you guys are not joining us on Amazon, you will see a link that will bring you guys over to Amazon to be able to get the book for yourself. You talked about your students earlier, and you mentioned how they encourage you. What has that been like for you, William, to be able to pour into them and then to have them pour back into you?
A blessing, because now they have a IEP. They have a IEP bib that said it. Some of them say they can't read, some can't write. But every day I prove to the principal that that's not true. When they put their mind to it and they can remind me of what I wrote, that, hey, Mr. Harper, in chapter 1 you said this. We do that as part of the English class. That's what we're doing. We're working on breaking down the book. So what it means for them in their life.
Yeah. I think one of the big reminders from this book for me when I was reading it, and again, it's one of those things that you'll read once and you'll kind of come back to. One of the individuals you talk about, and you give different biblical examples, William, and people will see that when they read the book. But one that stands out to a lot of people that I think everybody refers to is Job. I think even people who don't read the Bible, they know who Job is because they hear about Job so much. But you frame something, and that's why I love reading. You frame something in an interesting way. We all have read about the conversation that the devil had with God about Job, right? But you basically called it a project. That Satan's project was to break Job, to get Job to fail. And I think that's so interesting to look at it that way, because when you know someone is doing things to purposely hurt you, and you then talk about, even for other people, for us as individuals, talk about how it has affected your relationships, because you do talk about relationships in this book. If someone does something to you now, how has your situation changed in the way you would handle it?
Now what I do, instead of blowing up, going off, cussing, all that, I have taken the approach now, go in love. Even when those I have hurt, if I have hurt, I go in love, ask them for forgiveness, go through that process. Because one thing I do know is that when you're standing still and doing the will of God, God will prevail. God will make sure doors open up for you that no man cannot close. And like I was saying before, trust the process, because on the other end, there's victory. And so that's how I know when someone defend me, hurt me, or whatever, I forgive them, move on, because I know on the other end, there's a win, there's victory on the other end. And some people who hurt you don't mean to hurt you, because what they're going through, they're taking it out on you.
Right. I think that's it, and I love that, and I also love the way that you frame this, and you say this when it comes to thinking about the situation. I love this. You say, the subject of Job's trial is so broad that a book cannot do justice to it, not to talk of a chapter. Job is that book of the Bible that must be revisited to awaken the end time church and cure God's children of stunted growth. A deep study of Job's life will revive us all and transcend us from baby Christianity to maturity. So the question is, what did Job teach you, considering what you have gone through? What has looking at Job taught you?
Well, it had taught me a lot. Number one, it taught me that you can get back all that you lost if you have the right perspective, if you're doing what you're supposed to do. That's one. Two, it also shows you that those in your corner, your family, your friends, or your loved ones, if those in your corner that was there for you, even in the time you got sick. See, I lost a lot of people when I got sick, but that showed me a lot of what's going on with Job. When Job said that his friends said, curse God and die. That's so much in that word. When people left me hanging, left me for dead. That's what they were saying to me. But what it did is taught me that you got to have a small circle. That's number two. And number three, it also helped me to understand that at the end of the day, when you can't find your mother, can't find your father, can't find your sister or your brother, you know that God will step in. And that's why you got to stand still.
Yeah. But even with that, and this is the last part of the book I want to talk about, William. And again, you guys have to get this book because it's something that's it's a short read, but it's one that is so powerful, so many messages. Alice says, "Amen." You say this in chapter 8, talking about the theme scripture of the book, Psalm 46:10. You say this: "Standing still amid the storms of life is not an easy thing to do. It is only achievable by a higher degree of faith in God, recognizing that He is more than able to do all things. Yes, desperate times indeed require desperate actions. However, there is rest for the person standing still in obedience to God's promise." So I want to ask you, as we wrap up here, have you found that rest for yourself, William?
Yes, I have. That's why I love it out here in Arizona. I moved from Detroit to Arizona. I found my rest. I found my peace. Yeah.
Mhm. So, what do you want people to know that are just now finding out about the book that can purchase it today? We have people joining us literally all over the place here. What do you want them to know about the book and what it can do for them?
Hey, all I want to let you know, get the book, put it to practice. It will help you. And if you have a loved one that is sick or a loved one that had a traumatic situation to their life, get the book. Go through the chapter. Go back to the book. Study it. Also, look up Job. He was talking about study what I'm talking about. All I know is that when you get the book, it's going to change your life. It's going to help you. It's going to help you get your walk back stronger with God. It's going to help you get your life back with whoever you was messed up or over with. It help you to move forward in life. The book will help you.
Love that. Hello to you, Lawana. Lawana says hello to you as well. William, she says, "Welcome to my state." So she's giving you a welcome there. And I think that is a thing, too. There's so many great messages in this book. And it's something that I think it's for everybody, young and old. It's great
Yes.
reminders for us. But also, I think, especially in the world we're living in today, where there's so many things coming at you, William, I think the message of standing still is also so important. And I think one thing we didn't really talk about here, William, that I think ties into this is patience. Job
Yes.
had to have patience. He wanted relief then from all that he was going through, but it was a process, right? It goes back to what we were talking about, trusting the process. So I think that's one of the big things for sure that comes out in the book. Again, our guest has been William G. Harper Jr. His book is Standing Still. It's available here on Amazon. You all can get it today. Definitely worth the read, and we definitely would love to know your thoughts about it as well. I think, for a lot of people out there, William, and you mentioned this earlier, but I would definitely want to wrap up this episode of The Right Stuff and ask you again, if someone has gone through something like you, if they have gone through an experience, a loss, and they've thought about writing it down, what advice would you give them based on your experience?
Get your journal out, start writing. I wake up early in the morning, the thoughts, just write it down, write it down. Even if you're driving, observe all things. So you can be looking at a light and something hits you, write it down. At this time, I saw this light told me this and this and this. And that's all I can tell you. Write it down. Keep it in your mind. Write it down. Nowadays, you got to take the phone. Just push the phone. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself.
Yeah.
And
Love that.
also, if I can say this before we leave,
Yeah,
about the
definitely.
trusting the process. It took me a while to start walking. So I had to trust the process. I had to relearn how to walk again. With every step I take, every step I've taken, I move, I had to say, thank you, God. And then I let that process with that walking is one step at a time. So whatever you going through, it's going to take you one day at a time to get where you need to go. And after you do all that, you can say, I stood still, I still moving, I'm still talking. That's why I can say this book is very, very good for you.
Yeah, love that. Great conversation with you, William. So glad to have you here on The Right Stuff. Again, the book Standing Still is available now here on Amazon. For those joining us on the Amazon side, you guys can go ahead and click it and get it for yourself. For those who are joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, you'll find the link that'll bring you guys over here to Amazon. You'll be able to get it for yourself as well. William, appreciate you stopping by The Right Stuff today and looking forward to our next chat together, man.
Yes, we will. Look out for the next book. Also, Those who want to contact me, get on my Facebook. If you want prayer, if you just want to have communication, just talk. Get on my Facebook. Get on my Gmail. Shout his will 1@gmail.com. Again, shout his will 1@gmail.com. Get on my Facebook. Get on my email. Let's talk. Let's chat it up. Let's encourage one another, because everybody needs somebody to be able to talk to, run things off. Just, hey, I'm open for the conversation. Love y'all. Thank you again, Mr. Webb, for everything. And to all the people who are listening and watching, be blessed. God love you. From the grace of God to my heart, I love all of y'all.
Appreciate that. Melissa says, powerful conversation. LaWanda says, I just bought 4 copies of your book, one for me and the others for gifts. Perfect timing. I appreciate that, LaWanda, as well. And LaWanda, that's joining us on YouTube, says support, support, and support. That's so true. We're so glad that we could have you on to share with our Amazon audience. I've been trying to get William on. I just want to be on the record. Yes. I've been trying to get him to do this this conversation.
Yes.
But we're so glad that to have him on. And William, definitely looking forward to speaking with you again, man.
All right. No problem.
All right, take care. And we thank you all for tuning in to this episode of The Right Stuff. Glad you all could join us. Definitely, if you guys are new to us on the Amazon side, make sure you guys hit that follow button either here in this corner or down below, so you can stay connected with all of our programming here. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.